and settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture as best you can, with both feet flat on the floor, about a hips width apart. Really feel the soles of the feet, your knees about a hips width apart, shoulders aligned with the hips, ears aligned with the shoulders as best you can. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just imagine you're lengthening your spine, putting some space in between the vertebrae. But just while you're meditating there for a moment, I'm just going to close the window. So just bring your attention to the crown of the head and relax your scalp, your forehead, the eyes, the eyebrows, the cheeks, the area around the mouth, back of the tongue, the jaw, the temples, the back of the head, back of the neck, and allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. Take a nice deep breath. Try and release any tension. Notice the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. The breath sensations through the nostrils, the chest cavity, the belly. And be aware of any sound in your environment, any external sensory information, smells, sounds. And for Brenda, who's outside, the wind on your skin, temperature. And then be aware of what's going on in your mind this evening. Trying to put some space in between your thoughts and just kind of be curious about what's in your mind. Putting some space in between. And remembering, however it is you're turning up this evening, this afternoon, this morning, is just perfect. So try not to judge what's going on in your mind. Just allow it to be there. You know, like you have that friend in your life that just accepts you unconditionally. So let's just think about accepting ourselves and what's in our mind unconditionally. So that we have this unconditional concern and regard for ourselves, what's in our own mind. And as I passed on this morning, and I think yesterday evening as well, my chiropractor says, don't believe anything that's in your mind unless you've eaten, slept, or exercised. I mean, it's not set in cement, but it's a good guideline. Something to reflect on if you're ruminating about something. Oh, when was the last time I ate? Did I sleep last night? Yeah. Perhaps I should just go for a walk. Then bring to mind all the people of our life, our loved ones, our strangers, ones we don't like, remembering these relationships are interchangeable. They're all equal, these people. This wish to be happy, to be free from suffering, and having this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, all those people who've, Marion's relatives, and also all the other people who are suffering a loss of their homes and their regular way of living through fire, the change that's happened for Michael and his family, and many others. One thing, I don't know if I mentioned this, but you might remember Michael was wanting to go to Ukraine and serve as a physician on the front line, and I questioned whether that was a good idea because it was very dangerous. And then he didn't go, but maybe obviously because he was too sick. But it's very interesting to me that his, some of the last thoughts or wishes in his mind towards the end of his life were to serve people who probably wouldn't have access to good quality medical care because of their situation. So, keeping him in mind as well. So just think, there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. And we create negativity with our mind so we can change it just as well by creating positivity instead. We start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and of all of our past lives. And the reason we're regretting is due to this logic of karma. So we experience everything due to our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will, experience suffering in the future. So it does make sense to remove these negative seeds before they actually ripen into results that cause us difficulties in our life. So we think, well, okay, so what can I do about this? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance, and here we turn to the Buddha Vajrasattva, who we see as a doctor who has these methods that we can use to purify. And we're not needing Vajrasattva to forgive us necessarily. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva, you can imagine this ball of white light, if you like, on the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this radiant, blissful white light sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot, and his arms are crossed at his heart. On the left, he's holding a bell representing wisdom, the right Vajra representing, the indestructibility of compassion. And when they're crossed like that at his heart, this represents enlightenment, this symbol of the two joined. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And then just a quick little meditation on developing compassion. So we think about all the people that we've harmed, and then the people who have harmed us, and just develop a strong wish for them to be free from suffering, particularly those who have harmed us, because they're going to experience suffering as a result of harming us. So now we come to the remedy, and we start with the purification of the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body, in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita meboa, sutokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, jita meboa, sutokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that any harm you may have done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is this purification of our speech. And imagine Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and inappropriate speech and lack of wisdom, harsh, yelling at people, being sarcastic, talking about them behind their back, all these kind of ways in which we use our speech, maybe little harm or big harm. And just imagine all of this is purified. It's kind of being forced out of the top of the body as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe So feel really happy that your speech now is completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And next is this purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this kind of arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So imagine this light, just like when you've walked into a room and flicked on a switch. The light that comes dispels the darkness of the negativity of your mind. So all your depression and anger and attachment and bitterness and grudges and jealousy and all this kind of nonsense we have in our heads, all of this instantly dispelled as you recite the mantra. Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Trita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And now as this, we purify even the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. So we just give everything an extra scrub. So imagine the light coming down to purify the body, the light going up to purify the speech, the nectar flowing down, the nectar flowing up, and then the light coming and just blasting everything. So imagine it's kind of busy. You can also just imagine light and nectar coming at the same time and completely eradicating all the kind of subtlest imprints of negativity from your consciousness. It's like when you pull out the last cells, plant cells of a weed. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to this power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And we just have to make a decision. Just decide, I want to refrain from harming. So kind of like everything will fall into place once you've made that decision. And then from there, you can get a little bit more specific about how you're going to go about that. So first of all, start with rejoicing in your efforts for coming along, practicing with everybody, and then, get into a little bit of detail about something you'd like to work on, but just keep it simple. We're not going to change everything overnight. Just one little thing. And then imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And so then a little bit about emptiness. So we think in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So just placing your mind at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Infused with scents from bloom on Bodhi's branches, an ocean of Tathagata's virtues, with knowledge of the Eightfold Path's true way, with knowledge of the path of perfect Buddhas, the great attachment of all living beings, attachment-free, comparable to space, when springing up in every creature's mind, he is for every being as swift as mind, aware of all the aptitude of beings while captivating every creature's mind, with insult into aggregated natures, himself with fully pure 5 aggregates. Okay, everybody. So let's just have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, and for the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche.